Welcome back to The Explainer. Wow, what a truly wild week it has been in the world of professional wrestling. I mean, we've got massive in-ring shocks, backstage contract drama, and some seriously major executive-level maneuvers going on. In today's Explainer, we're going to break down the week's absolute biggest wrestling surprises, and honestly, more importantly, we're going to examine the real-world business decisions that are actually driving them behind the scenes. We're talking rapid-fire title changes, a panic over ticket sales, and rumors that could literally reshape the entire industry. All right, let's dive right into our agenda for today. First, we'll look at CM Punk's shocking title win. Second, we're going to explore how that directly connects to saving SummerSlam ticket sales. Third, we'll cross enemy lines to discuss the Sheamus to AEW rumors. And finally, number 4, we'll cap things off with the wildest rumor of them all: is Jeff Jarrett actually buying TNA? So kicking things off with Section 1, CM Punk's shocking title win and the absolute chaos on Monday Night Raw. Man, the landscape of Monday Night Raw was just turned totally upside down this week, and it resulted in the Undisputed WWE Championship unexpectedly changing hands. The kayfabe events unfolded at lightning speed. So first, Cody Rhodes earns his shot by beating Jey Uso on SmackDown. Number 1 contender, right? But then, total chaos. Gunther attacks Cody and literally shuts his head in a car door. Because of that, Adam Pearce rules Cody medically unclear to compete. But then, rival general manager Nick Aldis, who was supposed to be on administrative leave, by the way, steps in, makes a quick phone call, and actually substitutes CM Punk into the main event in his home area of Chicago. The result? Punk hits the go-to-sleep on Sami Zayn, and boom, he wins the belt. Honestly, it was a masterpiece of a storyline pivot. But that brings us to this seriously shocking number: 9 days. That is exactly how long Sami Zayn held the Undisputed WWE Championship after his massive feel-good win at Night of Champions. Not only is that incredibly brief, but it is officially the shortest time in 5 years that anyone has held this specific title. Blink, and you missed it. Moving right along to Section 2, saving SummerSlam ticket sales, and the real business motive behind this move. So you gotta ask yourself, why end the reign so soon? Actually, let's put our analytical hats on for a second. Because while the in-ring shock of Sami losing in 9 days is a super compelling storyline, we have to look at the real-world corporate strategy here. Why would WWE pull the belt off an incredibly popular superstar like Sami after just 9 days, especially when fans were so heavily invested in a long, triumphant run? What could possibly force their hand to make such an abrupt change? Well, Mike Johnson over at PW Insider hit the nail on the head. He reports that the big match for SummerSlam is the dream match that we've been teased with for years now: CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. So the crucial point here is that this isn't really a knock on Sami Zayn. This is entirely about positioning the pieces on the chessboard to create the absolute biggest main event possible for a massive upcoming stadium show. And why is a massive main event so desperately needed right now? We'll take a look at this number: 26,000. Going into this week, current SummerSlam stadium ticket sales were sitting right around 26,000 to 27,000. To quote the source directly, for a stadium show of this caliber, those numbers are absolute cheeks. They are lagging way behind expectations, and the company knew they needed to do something drastic. So, WWE smashed the big red button. They sacrificed Sami Zayn's feel-good reign because Punk versus Cody is the massive SummerSlam dream match they absolutely require to shift those stadium tickets. It's a match they haven't done before, it has total WrestleMania-level appeal, and from a purely business standpoint, if you want to move the needle and sell out a gigantic stadium in August, this is the exact lever you pull. Okay, jumping over to Section 3. Sheamus to AEW rumors and the resulting roster dilemma. So while WWE is ruthlessly shuffling the deck to move tickets, AEW is looking at a veteran whose contract is expiring, and it's causing quite a divide backstage. On one hand, Fightful Select reports that Claudio Castagnoli is pushing really strongly to bring his former tag team partner and rival into the company, promising this huge injection of fresh energy. But on the other hand, we have a report from Brian Alvarez detailing some serious backstage frustration. Alvarez spoke to multiple people in AEW who, while they personally really like Sheamus, are basically asking, are we really going to hire another 48-year-old? The roster is already totally bloated. AEW has 5 hours of television a week, and plenty of incredibly talented young stars already can't get TV time. Hiring another veteran means the younger talent waiting in the wings are going to get iced out all over again. But let's be real for a second. Despite that roster bloat, you just cannot ignore the fan appeal. Just imagine the wild fantasy matchups. As a fan, the novelty of dropping a hard-hitting brawler into this totally fresh environment is so tempting. Imagine Sheamus in an absolute horse fight against Brody King, or a crazy technical spectacle against Kenny Omega, or, my personal favorite, the promo battles against MJF. So Tony Khan has a really tough call here. He has to weigh the morale of his locker room against the sheer, undeniable entertainment value of bringing in a universally respected 20-year veteran for these fresh, unseen matches. And finally, let's wrap up with Section 4. Jeff Jarrett buying TNA? The ultimate wildcard rumor. We are going to close out this explainer with a very nostalgic and deeply surprising rumor regarding the broader wrestling landscape. To really understand why this is blowing up, you just have to look at Jeff Jarrett's wild history with TNA. I mean, he literally founded the company back in 2002. Then he resigns in 2013. He pops back up and rejoins in 2017, only to leave again later that exact same year. And now, following a recent interview with Ariel Helwani, rumors are spreading like wildfire that he might be swooping in to actually buy it in 2024. Honestly, this rumor highlights the sheer, wonderful absurdity of the wrestling business. Reports suggest that if TNA were to go up for sale right now, its market value would be roughly $25 million. But as our source absolutely hilariously points out, Jeff Jarrett is such a genius at navigating this specific industry that he would somehow find a way to talk them into selling it to him for about $500. And then he'd somehow come out of it making $200 million. The guy always manages to come out smelling like roses. But is there actually any truth to it? Well, when Ariel Helwani flat out asked him about the rumors, Jarrett talked about how happy he is over in AEW right now, but then he followed it up with this. I'm the oldest guy actively on the roster. I love what I do, but I'm a businessman. Notice what he didn't say? He explicitly did not say no. As our sources noted, he's a businessman through and through, and dropping an open-ended teaser like that is only going to pour gasoline on the fire. Which leaves us with one massive, final question. Could a double J-helmed TNA reshape the entire wrestling landscape all over again? Just imagine what that would even look like in 2024. From WWE mashing the panic button for SummerSlam, to AEW trying to balance a totally stacked roster, to a potential TNA buyout. The business of wrestling has literally never been more unpredictable. Thank you so much for joining me as we unpacked all of this. Take these insights,